got ourselves an arena game. We've already picked into the first seat because we were running a little short on time. And ew, brown, black, gray. I put time travelers into the first seat because we do have a stacked event in round 5 for TPs, which might be kind of cool. There might also be something kind of cool to opening stronghold and trying to build TP in round 2 or something. But in any case, we'll just bid on darklings because they're very good in this color matchup. I haven't looked closely at the game yet, but um, I think double East time travelers is not out of the question. We're gonna worker power probably, or actually, the big building tile is pretty likely in the final seat here. Architects, I think we just open with a spade here. It's this dynamic is always really awkward with architects because um, dwarves like gray can always play c5, especially when gray has this seating position. It's very awkward. Um, a lot of action on darklings. I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, the round 2 big building event is just ridiculous, and also round 1 spades are really good for Earth 2 darklings. This track just like is incredible. Actually, I think that this is probably Earth 1 or Fire 1 or Air 2 darklings based on the fact that the 6 coins pass tile is in the game. There's tons of workers around. Even though this spade event is in round 1, I kind of lean toward Air 2, but who knows. Who would I like to play here? I think I would like to play either Dwarf. I think I would like to play almost anyone other than Darklings. So maybe like I would prefer to play this faction factor should qualify a little bit. Neither of the ship tiles is in the game, which is nice for dwarves. And dwarves, like, this is not a very friendly track toward dwarves. However, if they get worker power, then they're in definite contention for double dig round 1. Um, and we do like that, especially with the spade event in round 1. Architects also aren't bad. I think that they probably just take the spade here, but who knows? I think if Darklings are on g5, then they'll probably cut off this town. I'm assuming that Architects beat us at d7 as dwarves. However, if they do that, then Darklings are probably not cutting off the south. So I think that this town then happens. Time Travelers, my question for Time Travelers is, are we ever playing double East here? Like, I think it's not impossible for us to play double East Time Travelers, but we could just get blocked off the spade and that would really suck. Um, Maybe we place d8 to just discourage e10 Darklings. Um, I guess double East is not going to work out because black is just always going to like take away some of our valued territory there. So I think time travelers are actually probably the weakest faction here. There's no shipping help, and that is like one of the big advantages that brown can get, like time travelers specifically can get over black. But because of the lack of that help, I think that I'm pretty concerned about that. Um, Gonna keep going on darklings. Well, dwarves should be in contention for network. Like it's hard for darklings to connect in this matchup. They can maybe connect through the north, um, but it requires a lot of shipping that darklings don't necessarily want to do. Dwarves have the advantage of not really caring about shipping, and that's a big advantage for dwarves, I think. I still don't think that they're as good as darklings, but and architects, like we're always going to get this town over here in the west, and I think that it's a good game to do that as architects. And I think that we're going to place d7 to begin. Um, uh, double center is okay for architects here. Um, one of these two hexes should get built, either f3 or f4. Um, so we'll find a neighbor there, and we could get priority on f3, which would be really sick. Can we make that track work is the main question then. And can we get onto enough good pass tiles to make this all work out? Like my dwarves game involves just placing f6, which is very good for architects. But if we go d6 and then dwarves are on, I think that we just go d7. We go d7 and we take the spade. And if dwarves come to c5 and waste a tunnel and a dig just for like this one hex, then fine. I think it hurts us both to do that. Yeah, but d4, d7 feels like the play. Question mark? Not obvious. Round 5 dwellings is not particularly good for dwarves. It's very good for darklings, I think. Red, we probably get a6 as a good shipping option late. If we get to b5, then we do get this shipping lane as well. But it's not obvious that we have a great shipping options late in the game. Maybe we like get to h5, i11 if we manage to dig through all these hexes over here in the west. Okay, we're on dwarves. Let's see what happens. We're going to place e7 first. If architects are bold enough to go d6, then I think I might place c5, but I'm kind of leaning toward just going f6 anyway. Block gets onto architects, which was his plan anyway. That makes sense. Okay, it's double center. So this is quite tough on time travelers, but it's quite nice for us because this means that the west town is unmolested. And this is a huge break for time travelers, like an unbelievably huge break, but I probably should have seen this coming because one thing that I underestimated as darklings was the fact that architects will beat us to d3, will beat darklings to d3 rather, and therefore like this center hex, while good for leech, doesn't do much for town space. This is tough on us for our connection, but we might be able to connect through like d5 and d6 or c4 or something like that. So regardless, I should probably get like a neighbor on f7 or something now. Time travelers need to fight hard for f3. That's my read here. I'm going to take worker power, so they should not be able to spade with their first action. So I'm not going to make life easier for them. But yeah, this is about as much as we could have asked for to get this entire stretch out here. So Um, Time Travelers, yeah. Time Travelers got to place like F7 now. Like there's no reason for them not to. One dig for two hexes is just too good. Um, they could place I8, I guess, but I don't know if that really does them too much. They want to town using these three hexes. E6, E5, E4. Nafgar is not the fastest player, so we're going to have lots of opportunity to think about our lives. They placed B2, which I just don't think that this is very good. It's quite bad for me that they did this, but I don't think it's particularly good for them either. Like this does guarantee them connection, and they probably beat architects here. So maybe it's not horrible, but I don't think it's that good. I think we're clearly in line to get double dig. Well, I guess architects might dig this with their first action, but then time travelers have to do something. It looks like they're opening with either sanctuary or stronghold, which is fun. Like at this point, I would probably just do it for the 9 points. Darklings intent on getting a power action here, it looks like. Slash not making life too easy for me to get double dig. There it is. Very nice. We're going to dig F4, E9. This is going to be a sanctuary town in the center, I think. Nafgar can now dig F3, which seems like a huge misstep by architects. I'm really frustrated because I think that time travelers are being handed the game here, like pretty clearly, which is quite frustrating to me. I mean, I guess time travelers only lost one dig from that overall, and now they can't. Well, they can still open the stronghold. Yeah, they can still open the stronghold. Um, they can't open sanctuary, but they can still open stronghold. But it's still pretty frustrating for me that like this is going to be annoying for time travelers to take this leech, so now is the time to do it. We'll just take Earth 2 for now. Next round we can think about whether Air 2 is more fun or if Earth 1 is more fun. But I think that Earth 2 is correct for now. I mean, I guess I could have taken Earth 1 instead of Earth 2. And then Earth 1, Air 2 could have been okay. So, like, maybe I should have thought about that possibility. But this is the issue with time travelers, by the way. They have no stall move, so they need to move. Their ability lets them move up to 4 power from bull 3 into bull 1, or bull 1 into bull 3. But the problem is that you often find yourself in a position where you don't want to take leech, because in order to get them right now, in order to take advantage of that 4 power, they would need to burn down to 5 power, and they have no stall move. So that's always the issue with, like, I almost have always found that issue when I open with the stronghold as time travelers. They decide to partially use that ability, which, I mean, that does make sense, right? But this is very, very bad for architects. They might be able to come back from this. Like, they do have, like, by cutting me off of G2, they've protected all this western space for themselves. So maybe they town through I6 instead. It's the same number of digs, I suppose. So they could use the priest to bridge down to I6 and then use the spade on I6, I guess. That's probably the plan. If I had to, like, figure out a plan here as architects. Darklings take Earth 2. They're not getting a lot of leech, so Earth 1 is tough. Okay, so this is less bad than I had feared for architects. But I think that losing G1 as a good bridge spot is pretty ugly. This is like a much better leech spot. Like, F3 is a great leech spot as well, so that's one of the nasty parts of it. We're gonna land on this pass tile, which is fantastic. Just what we wanted, I think. You didn't think about what? The time travelers issue? I'm not sure which what we're talking about here. Um, but yeah, like, many times I've played time travelers and burned myself down to like 4 or 5 power really early, and just made life really awkward for myself. Um, all right, so I do think we want Earth 1. I think that we can probably play it like this. I don't think Navgar is upgrading with the first action, so I think that I can send the priest off to air. First priest to air is still pretty good, and then I'll sanctuary for Earth 1. Navgar probably takes a power action. I think that he takes the double dig with the first action, because otherwise I threaten it if he. I guess he could TP up here, and then Earth 1 wouldn't be, or double dig wouldn't be as threatened. But by the way, Navgar also overflows on his power here, so this has been like a pretty inefficient stronghold early. We'll see how it winds up playing out for them. Using the time traveler's ability halfway, I see. Yeah, that is something that you can do. But it's a lot worse, right? Like, it's an ability that gives you a ton of power, but you're getting much less out of it. It's just, I think it's kind of sad, but okay. There is the double dig. Um, I'm not sure that that's better than. Okay, so this is nice. Get the priest to the cult. If Nafgar uses his ability to gain power next, then I think that my next action is going to be to take the coins. If Nafgar threatens Earth 1, then I take Earth 1. If he threatens the coins, then I take the coins. So I think that I'm in a pretty nice spot here. Architects drop a priest on a cult, they're going to go for Earth. Um, they're going to go for the 2-key town pretty clearly, I think. I also think that I'm likely going to lose G3. This Darklings game could start to get pretty out of hand in terms of strength. Okay, so he does threaten the coins. We'll grab that. Now he probably wants workers so that he can temple and build these 2 dwellings. But we're still just paying attention to our tempo on what we want, which is Earth 1. Yeah. And I guess we probably just tunnel after that, right? We probably just Earth 1 and tunnel. Maybe H6. I wonder if architects want to sanctuary here. They could sanctuary air 2. I don't think it's like awful to sanctuary air 2 for architects. If time travelers only travel through time and gain the power early, yeah. Darklings are 3 actions away from a town, but architects could town this round. So the question, I guess, is what will they prefer to try to do? Architects are going to take a long round, so I'm going to wind up on the. I think. I think this means I could wind up on the spade, which is or um, the dwelling tile. So those are both very nice outcomes for me if that can be arranged. Nafgar trying to figure out whether or not to take the workers now. I think that the answer is you're supposed to take the workers because I could take them instead, and that would actually benefit me quite a bit. So I think the answer is yes, you want the workers, but he could make a mistake and not do it. Wow. Okay, he decides to play greedy. So I am considering swiping these workers. It would take me out of the race for double dig, which is forever, which is bad. I assume this is air 2, by the way. It is air 2. We should figure out how our tempo looks for water 1 going forward. Like, I'm considering putting this TP here now instead of tunneling. So that way I'm ready to take water 1 next round. But, like, time travelers can pass. I don't think that they will. They'll probably use a cult bump. Let's figure out our next round. If we pass now, we maybe get the last priest to air. I really want the last priest to air, but I could just settle for first priest to fire. Does staying in the round get us anything? The one thing we could get from staying in the round is we could bridge to G3. There's very little chance that Darklings are going to begin the round by taking away G3. But if I pass now and no one gives leech, then I also get a coins action. Like, I got a lot of good things by passing here, I think. If I tunnel, then Darklings get the coins. It's not so bad. I also lose the spade. But there's lots of good stuff out there, so I think that I tunnel. We'll just put some points on the board. Our round next round, by the way, I think looks like... Okay, Architect's just completely locking that up. That's reasonable, I guess. Okay, Navgard does buy workers, which I anticipated happening. Okay, he's going to use a cult bump first. Yeah, it's very annoying to me when my opponents slow play this much, but that is their prerogative. So I think our plan is we just Temple Water 1 right away. Um, I do think the Air 2 Time Travelers is pretty clever, so I approve of that. Yeah, we are going to rush the Sanctuary for water. Oh, wait. Wait. Architects took Air 2. Okay. So I think Darklings will take the coins, then I will start making my temple for water 1. And then I will build 2 hexes here. And I will get a priest onto earth or water or whatever. Nafgard is now in position to take the 2-key town, by the way. So that's a fun fact. I really thought that that was going to go to Architects, but they decided to do this Sanctuary instead for Air 2, which I guess you're allowed to do that. I think as Darklings, I'm always taking the coins here. Even if you lose Water 1, it's okay. But if they do start making a temple, then I think that I was never expecting the coins, so it's probably okay for me to just take Water 1. My economy is in a position where that should be okay. Yeah, next round's already the TP round, so now is the time to take Water 1 if I can. Darklings are basically weighing if they can afford Water 1. Honestly, in reality, I'd probably just get Water 1 anyway, due to Architect's positioning. But... wow, I did not expect this. Okay, so I think I just take the coins then. If I lose Water 1, I lose Water 1, but I don't think I should. Yeah. Architects are nowhere near taking Water 1. They're going to just take an 8-pointer to close out Air, which is reasonable. I think I would like an 8-pointer as well. There's a pretty good case that I was supposed to double dig D5 there, actually. Yeah, actually, I think I was supposed to double dig D5. Are Time Travelers not using their ability first? I feel like they're supposed to. Okay, they send the first priest to fire, which is what they were really supposed to do. So fair play. Fair play. Where do I want this temple to go? I think I want to go over here because I do want to get an 8-point town pretty bad. I suppose darklings just take a coin town then, so that they can get their temple up. And they could just take the 2 key town as well. It's perfectly fine. Gets them only 2 power. Okay. Only 2 power is not that good for a 2 key town for darklings. This is less good of a cult game than we wanted, but such is life. Architects take one of the coin towns. I would 100% have taken an 8-pointer there, but like they could have taken an 8-pointer and then just passed right onto the dwelling tile. No one would have beaten them to that pass, and then they could have like just grabbed the coins. So I definitely disagree with that. Here's the 2 key town. There's water 1. Oh, I guess architects might be trying to force out this temple for water 1 is what's happening. They're free to build dwellings next round, but honestly, they need to be saving up tons of coins for this round. They need to have lots of workers and coins ready for the TP round because those are going to be 9-point TPs that they build during that round. 6 extra points for building during that round specifically. They're going to need lots of workers and coins actions, and I think that it's pretty reasonable to expect that. They'll get A7. Architects will never advance their shipping, so they'll get A6 as well. So they will get another town. It's going to be quite a tall like time travelers game. As long as I connect, I'll be safe. So I just need to protect my connection. I think I take D7 here. Okay. So darklings don't build a temple this round. This looks kind of disastrous for darklings. They just take a coin town as well. Okay, let's lock up this hex. All right, so there's no chance oh, okay. Time travelers have transformed this hex. That's great. So they're going to use the cult bump and then they'll pass. All right, so things will work out okay for time travelers. We unfortunately need to keep making moves. I'm actually thinking now that the priest maybe goes onto the water cult because the water cult returns a priest later. Just getting it onto the cult now, like, is good karma, I think. Or it's just, I say karma, I really just mean like tempo consideration, right? Time Traveler is going to struggle for neighbors for these TPs that they want to build in round 5. They're going to advance their shipping very aggressively, and I think it behooves me to cut them off of E8 if I can. Okay, architects will get themselves a coins action. Very nice. They will struggle for neighbors, but they should get I7, I think. I think that the cool move for darklings is to dig I7 early. They don't have shipping, so I don't really have to worry about C5 too much, but I do want to make sure that I get a town in a timely manner. So I don't want it to run into any weirdness there. They take H5, so now they threaten I7, which could buy Time Travelers a coins action. So the question is just like, do we want C5 or do we want I9? I think that darklings will be crazy to dig I9 next round, so I think that the play is here. And we're going to get onto darklings pass tile, which is cool. I think. Do we want to build lots of TPs next round? Yes, we do. We definitely do. Okay, architects don't blink. They just take the coins. Darklings can now take I7, which would really make life a lot worse for architects. Let's see if they do it. They don't need to temple anymore. They can like temple later for air 1, but yeah, I think we build 3 TPs and we tunnel this round. Or I guess like if we wind up with a million leech, we double spade E8. But I think that we would prefer to use the air spade on E8. Time travelers, what do? Advanced shipping. Okay, they did do that. Alright, so that's a big bummer for architects because they committed their sanctuary up here. I'm actually not really sure what this ship advance did for time travelers. One shipping doesn't really seem to do them anything. So I really don't know what that was. I feel like they really could have used those coins for next round, but what do I know? Oh, they're going to pass for a lot of points. Okay, time travelers I really shouldn't be concerned trolling their game. They're doing completely fine. And we said we wanted an 8-pointer. Let's give it to them. I were architects, I would be thinking about advancing digging, and that scares me as dwarves. Scares me as dwarves that architects' best play might be to advance their digging. But if I guess if they do that, then they have no shipping. But they really want to make 3 towns, I think, now that they've kind of pigeonholed themselves here. What's the point in being stingy? Let's just come down here and... If I were darklings, I would go temple TP here. I would temple for air 1 this round, I think. Don't know if that's good, but that's what I would be doing. I think I should just go ahead and win this Earth Cult now as well. But maybe the time to do that is next round. We'll see. So the coin towns are both gone. I said I was going to go ahead and just win this cult. Don't think that that's changed. Oh man, I greatly disagree with that. But I guess they're allowed to do that. I guess it's fine, right? It's probably fine. It closes the air cult. It gets them some income. They're gonna still make a TP, and that, like, they have another chance to build TPs later in the game, so it's probably fine. But they're only gonna pass for 3 with this dwelling VP tile, which is a little sad. I think that they were probably hoping for more than that. And man, time travelers, I guess they're just really, really looking hard for neighbors, and they can actually make a bridge. So I think that the bridge would be pretty nice for them. Darklings staying in the round, love it. They're going to build everything that they can. I think that we're doing that. This does make their Air 1 plan a little less likely, I think. I was cooking up an Air 1 plan for Darklings, but now that they bought the workers, it doesn't seem as good of a play. They'll probably just build I8 and maybe make both TPs. And that means that I need to secure connection next move. That pass tile going away could be... Okay, I've probably greatly exaggerated the demise of time travelers. This is too many points to pass up. What if I put the bridge on G3 and first action I just secure this hex next round? I think I like that idea. I don't think darklings should begrudge me too much for trying it out. Like it's just a play. They shouldn't really try to mess with me. It's a good 8-point take. Afgar takes A8. I think at most we're getting 1 power from darklings here. Darklings by a priest makes a lot of sense. They should just maximize their footprint. They shouldn't be coming after. So I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I'm eyeing a third town down here. And that third town will involve I-10 probably. Architects did not fully advance their digs, but they secured I-4 for another town. And I assume that this is just an 11-point town at this point. No, they take a power town to further increase their economy. I think Time Travelers 100% should be taking an econ town this round. They need to like make absolute bank here. Just grab this hex first. We probably, I think, just... Oh, they dig up here. Okay, that's really good news for us. What's block doing? He's advancing digging further. Okay. I don't think architects will be a problem for us anymore. And I don't think we need to worry too hard about this pass tile either. The question is, how hard do I want to fight for this guy? I think the answer is not that hard. I'm just going to transform this and this. It's 3 extra points to build a dwelling this round. Maybe I get a town next round, but it's not clear that I would. So I'm not sure it's worth the price to pay. If I'm darklings, I'm sending this priest to water. There it goes. They might 5 power priest onto I-10, but I could double dig G7 next round. So I'm not that concerned there. I was very lightly considering templing for air 1 this round. It would get me 3 extra points, but I can't take any more priest production, so I don't think that that's the way. I might bump priest to like air priest to water or something. That could be okay. Alright, so I'm actually perfectly in line to inherit from blocks past tile, which is better than I could have hoped for, I think. Black has been cooking lately. I mean, I'm not convinced that he's cooking now. I definitely question if he's cooking now, but I believe that he's been cooking lately. I think Nafgar still has a very long round coming. I think he might take a ship town here so that he can build H3 and then put a TP down there. Because these TPs are just so absolutely massive for him right now. He has a spade in hand, but the spade in hand can't find him a neighbor. He's actually going to do pretty decent on network, actually. Hilariously. Block will open with a coins action. Probably build a stronghold here. And then try to dig down F2 and get G1. He has enough workers that it might just work out. Like, as priests. But, regardless... I am thinking that stronghold is a possibility for our 2 towns. I do lean a little more toward this is a workers' town, I guess. Followed by an expense. Oh, he hasn't even taken the town yet. Nafgar, I don't think Nafgar should be contesting network like at all. But it's his right to. Like, I don't think that it's ever worth it for him to try to beat Darkling's network. Assuming that Darklings like dig down G4, advance ship, and then like build H7 or something like that. I think the play is Temple Fire 2, take a power town, followed by the power dig on I-10. We probably want to build 2 more structures to get to 14 for complete safety. Maybe that means that we want the double spade, but I think that Navgar beats us to double spade. Also, Time Traveler's getting a 3rd town is pretty crazy. I don't think I saw that coming. Arguably, no, architects should never secure this hex. They should always take coins. So, yeah, this worked out really nicely for Time Travelers. And admittedly, I would not have thought to only build 3 TPs here, but getting a 4th town might be better than this 6 coins, or than these 6 points. It looks to me like they're the competition. If I temple here, no wait, Nafgar can't use the double spade. He wants to save spades for here, right? So if I temple Fire 2 and take Power Town, the worst case, like the less good case, I think, is that I just advance digs. I think I prefer to take the Power Town, to take double dig, but I think that advanced dig is also not too bad. Darklings should just temple Water 2. Or they don't need Water 2 yet. They should temple Air 1 first. There's only 1 copy of Air 1 left. I don't think Time Travelers will take it. They probably want Fire 2 more. Now I'm wondering if advancing digging is just straight up better anyway. I think it probably is straight up better. So, kind of a change from what we were saying before, but... So we need 3 more coins after this. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 workers that we need. And 15 coins. We're a little short on the coins front. We'll leave ourselves open to taking bigger leech. This might be totally off base to be trying this BS, but very arguably I should have just transformed I-10 and not done this, but all right, now we have to figure out, is it worth it to double spade this versus advancing dig again? If I advance dig again, then, and Darklings take I-10, then I just get G7. And then I have to make 2 TPs. So if I advance dig, that's 5 coins. Then G7 is 7 coins. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I would need 13 coins. $13 might not be good for me. $13 might be a problem. We would need so much leech still. Yeah, I think that we need to secure this hex. But I think 4 workers is probably the way to do it. Should darklings build a stronghold? They probably should, right? That's probably their best way to get more priests. Maybe take this double dig? Maybe I'm supposed to deny double dig. I should have just double dug. This was a dumb line, I think. Because darklings are going to get down one more structure, I think. Well, it's not clear actually. They don't have a. They would need 2 digs and a ship advance. Ooh, they could bridge. But if I just take the bridge now. But taking the bridge now doesn't really help me that much. The question is like, if darklings bridge and then they beat me on network, that's a problem. But I'm also competing with time travelers on network. It's not just darklings, so. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 workers to build one more structure. I think that means that this is probably good. Time travelers need fire 2. Yeah, time travelers are going to want fire 2 to make this town. So, oh, that's time travelers. Architects, are they sending a priest to cult? I don't know what architects are doing, but I think sending a priest to fire can't be that bad. So I think that my math says that darklings get down one more structure. They should bridge, TP, and then build G7. And maybe I take these workers. Man, that dig advance was so bad. Because now, to build this last structure, it means giving up on a 6-point TP, which is really, really not my style at all. Okay, that bump is definitely a sign to do this. Okay, time travelers are not getting any further. They just really shouldn't be getting any further. So, like, they can build, like, okay, they're gonna get to 13 structures. No, they can get to 14. Yeah, they're only 2 hexes away from 14, or 1 dig away from 14 rather. They do need another ship advance to connect though, which they probably want to do. It's free points versus architects, so probably this is just a ship town followed by 1 more structure. Yeah, it's the shipping town. And they only have enough stuff to build 1 more hex. Okay, so they'll seal off this cult. Block will connect here, and then what? That's it. So am I beating darklings is the question. I just kind of have to hope that I am. Oh, the workers went. So I think I can still afford to send a priest to one of these cults. Doesn't really matter. I think that time travelers just send priests to either one as well. But there's a small chance of air 3 from darklings, I guess. So do that. Block connecting, by the way, is not worth it at all. I don't know what he's up to, but it looks like architects are kind of dead. I have half digs. Yeah, yeah. My position looks good. I think it does look good. It's just not satisfying because I didn't get to do everything I wanted to. I think that I guess one of those intractable issues is that when you build both of these, when you take 4 favors as dwarves, it's hard to take air 1, and it's also like to 3 town. It's then hard to like also make a TP. I could have just tunneled instead of going for this 3rd town, and then I could also have air 1. So I think I have some small regrets there. But ultimately, like those are fairly small complaints in the big picture. Time travelers have 2 more priests to go, so they'll just go air and fire, presumably, or air and fire, air and earth. Um, this hopefully gets me a little bit of leech. I do think that this. Okay, now let's take an assessment. I think that we've won, right? Darklings don't have enough points. They have very good endgame scoring, but not enough points. They're going to build G7 now. They shouldn't have ship advance. They should have used the bridge, but it ultimately won't matter too much. It'll just cost them like a resource point or something. Half dig upgrade games are cooler than full upgrade games. Yeah, I mean.